So what does Amy Walter think, through the mouth of John Mercurio, about the New Hampshire Senate race?
Wait, you want me to tell you what Amy Walter thinks? You ask my opinion, I will tell you my opinion. I'm not going to sit here and channel Amy Walter.
Welcome to Hotline TV. I'm Quinn McCord.
And I'm John Mercurio. Well, Quinn, I see you are, as usual, dressed to the nines. And do I detect the scent of a rare, expensive cologne? It can only mean one thing. It's time for another Hotline TV Ladies Night. All right, Quinn McCord here to talk about the ladies. Who are the ladies on your mind today,
John,
Quinn McCord? And try to keep it clean.
John, I've got several ladies on my mind tonight.
Let's talk about the ladies.
First up, New Hampshire former Attorney General Kelly Ayotte.
Yes.
She is having her coming out party tonight.
Why Ayotte?
In Wolfboro, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And, she's someone who's never run for public office before.
Interesting.
She's been recruited by the NRSC, kind of under the radar. But, Democrats say she's untested. She's maybe not the greatest public speaker. But we don't know. I mean, I assume the NRSC has done their homework. If they want her in the race, they like her.
Right.
But we won't know until she gets off. And
interesting.
Obviously, the worst case scenario will be a Jeanine Pirro type situation. Where that's about the worst.
Well, are you just saying that because they're both women who have never run for office before?
No, maybe.
Sort of. Okay.
But it's for
I'm
a
just
Senate
calling
race.
out sexism wherever I see it, and I saw it right there.
I'm
just
sorry.
like I'm the Hillary Clinton squad.
Listen.
All right. Moving right along, we've got other women around the country running for office, making their debuts this week. Who is this woman, this lady, if you will, in Illinois Senate candidate Cheryl Jackson joining the field?
Well, it's not a surprise. I mean, her name has been batted about a bit, but you have to read the coverage today of Cheryl Jackson. I mean, she has good credentials, but in the lead of the AP story, it says former Blagojevich aide.
Right.
And how is that not going to haunt her through the entire every story about Cheryl Jackson is going to be talk about her firm association with Blagojevich, and even in the Democratic primary.
She is, however, the only African American. She is also, I believe, at this point, the only woman in the race. You had people like Lisa Madigan and Jan Schakowsky who decided not to run. So in some ways, in a Democratic primary, that can work to her advantage. Is Emily's List going to get involved? Is she viewed as a viable candidate? I mean, these are sort of the questions
Those
that
are
I
good
hope.
questions, John.
Thank you, Quinn. I appreciate
questions
that.
that need to be asked.
And need to be answered.
Yeah, surprisingly good questions, actually.
Thank you.
But
very much.
But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Being an African American woman that gets
I'm usually right.
a certain percent of the vote. But right now, if she only gets one white male like Alexi Giannoulias, it's hard to see how she gets how she gets plurality out of that.
You're right. Are those sort of groups that I just mentioned, African Americans and women, really able to overcome the fact that she worked for Blagojevich?
That's going to be tough. There's electability issues there.
There's some tough
Finally,
Let's
we have
talk about her.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We have the current GOP chair of the state of Nevada.
No need to get so angry.
Sue Lowden.
Sue Lowden.
And probably no one's ever heard of her before today.
Yes, she is making her debut here on Hotline TV. She is probably, well, unless Dean Heller gets in, the Republican congressman, she will or could be the strongest Republican candidate that Republicans are able to field against Harry Reid. Look, this is still not a race that's reached the level of South Dakota 2004.
No.
With John Thune and Tom Daschle. Republicans want to make it into that race. That's, of course, where Thune beat Daschle in a very tight race, defeating the then Senate Majority Leader. But even with Sue Lowden, frankly, I think even with Dean Heller, although that's a different race, it's still a tough race.
I don't know. Republicans will disagree with you in this sense, is that obviously, in 2004, both Thune and Daschle were personally very popular. I mean, Republicans will point out that Harry Reid's personal numbers are just in the toilet, and they'll say that even a B-level candidate could beat him. Now, then they can't have a dwarf, but they'll say hell would be great.
What do you mean a dwarf?
Well, they can't have a lunatic run against Harry Reid.
Are you saying the dwarfs are lunatics?
No, but
wow.
Well,
Quinn, you're a guest host. You can't have our show. You can't torpedo our show by coming on and saying things like that.
I'm not. You're torpedoing me. I'm trying to get a good political point out, and you're interrupting my train of thought. Anyways, Sue Lowden maybe could make this an interesting race.
She's not a dwarf.
But we've yet to see. She's not been run for anything. So, but she has maybe some personal money. I don't know actually.
Okay, well we'll just have to find out.
She may or not.
That's another question that needs to be asked. Does she have personal money? Are there any issues out there on the landscape in the 2010 political cycle that would in some ways favor a lady? I want to try to tie in this whole ladies' night theme.
Well, that's a great question.
Okay.
Another great question. I mean, it's always true that women candidates maybe come in initially with a little more of a clean edge than most men.
Like Libby Mitchell in Maine, running as the clean elections candidate for governor, right?
Only you care about the Maine governor's race.
Well, I care a lot about the Maine. Well, me and probably 6 million people who live in Maine.
Yeah. Yes. And someone running in Vermont for governor. There's a woman running in Vermont for governor too, isn't there? I think she's
Faye?
No,
Gay Simon.
Gay Simon was last time.
Okay.
I forget. It's someone in Vermont's running for governor, and you heard it here first.
Wow.
On
And
Hotline TV.
there aren't 6 million people in Maine. There's like 2 million. But anyway, unfortunately, ladies, we are out of time for today. Until next time, I'm John Mercurio.
And I'm Quinn McCord. Call me, ladies.